Welcome back, you pieces of shit. Episode 50, the abuse episode. You didn't see that coming, did you? That's right. Suck it. No one likes you, not even your mom.
Redo it.
Wow, you're really channeling that Dr. Disrespect story.
No, I'm not. I will not be cheating on anyone in the near future. Spoiler alert for later news. Let's go ahead and just redo that intro. I've been told.
I liked it.
I've been told on behalf of the other
really
people at
changed
Nerd
things
Chills,
up.
you're not pieces of
I
shit.
think we should take a vote.
Okay, episode 50, the 50th episode. We treat our viewers and listeners like shit. Take that, listeners. My name is Adam Diaz, and with me, as usual, is CJ. Welcome back, CJ.
Hi, guys.
With me in the third chair, as usual, is Charlie. Welcome back, Charlie.
Cello.
No, treat them badly.
I don't want to.
Why are you guys even here and stuff?
Yeah.
You're terrible.
Take that. And sitting in the fourth chair...
Sit on a biscuit. I don't know.
Sitting in the fourth chair, who's way too nice, is Robin Grace. Welcome back, Robin.
Hello.
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 For episode 50, the main topic this week will be Game of the Year for 2017. It kind of lined up perfectly, and that's really nice.
Like our choices for Game of the Year.
Obviously, we're not going to read you anyone else's choices. This is the Nerd Chills Game of the Year. We're excited to do it. There wasn't a lot of news, so you guys are in for a nice, brief, short episode, which will probably mean it's 2.5 hours long, which is what always happens.
Oops.
And then we'll just jump right into the Game of the Year rankings and just sort of figure it out. But first and foremost, like we always start, I'm going to start out in Missouri. CJ, what have you been playing this week, bro?
Actually, I've had to take a break from grinding Call of Duty. I think my fingers were starting to bleed.
Did you cheat on your wife?
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. I just want to take time out of my day to tell you guys this. So I've got back into playing a little bit of Hearthstone.
Nice.
It's because they came out with like a huge article basically saying that they're trying to change the game from a game that can be decided on a flip of a coin to more of a skill-based game, which is the reason why I stopped playing it in the first place, was because it just got really annoying that it all came down to random luck. So
Same here.
Maybe now that it's going to go back to skill, there'll be a bigger push and it might come back because it's kind of dying right now. But other than that, I've been playing a lot of Overwatch with Robin, Adam, and Charlie when she wants to show up, because apparently she just thinks she has a choice to show up to these things, but whatever.
It seems like I did have a choice. We also weren't streaming, so it's unofficial.
That's true. It was really, really fun, though.
It's just friend
It was a
time.
blast.
I had a blast.
Maze Snowball's fight is way more intense than it sounds.
Yeah.
It's really hard to hunt down that big old fucking monkey, too.
Yeah, the
in
Yeti
that
game.
Mode.
The Yeti.
I got to be the Yeti and
Yeah.
destroyed all of my friends. It was a great time.
Except for me, I hid.
You hid.
like
I couldn't
a
find
bitch. Like all you listeners out there, burn.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm getting over this.
So yeah, that's what I did.
That was a blast on Tuesday. Right on. Charlie, besides Overwatch, which we know you played, what else have you been playing?
No, it was pretty much Overwatch and Animal Crossing. Did I play anything else? Just a ton of Animal Crossing. Me and Robin were just talking about it before the episode. I'm up to level 42.
And the level cap is 60, you said?
Yeah.
So you're approaching it rapidly.
Yep, and as we speak, they just did their first update, which includes this shitty garden that I don't think I'm going to really love that much, but, you know, whatever, I'll
doesn't look
participate.
Is it actually called the Shitty Garden?
Yeah.
It should be.
I wish you could make your own signs to go right outside your garden.
That's funny.
I think that's it. Although I finally got my code for Super Lucky's Tale, so I really want to play that. I've been wanting to play it since, like, E3, and we finally got the codes, and then I got that Player Unknown, so I don't know, maybe if I get it, like, some, what's the word I'm looking for, some courage through playing Overwatch online, then I'll go and play other online games where I'll get smoked.
PUBG is kind of fun. I've played Fortnite, and it's kind of funny because you can just, like, hide. Like, I came in top 10. Like, how many people did you kill? Like, no one. I hid the whole time, and I was terrified.
That sucks.
I know. It's perfect.
What else? Oh, I also got a code for Doom VR, but I've heard really bad things about that.
I have two. Yeah.
So I don't know if I want that.
Well, you can always just try it out and stream it and see how horrible it goes. So, I don't know how to stream VR, anything. You'd have to have, like, a camera on the person while also having the screen share thing.
You could just
We can figure it out.
Yeah, I guess. I would just stream the video and it would be really boring. I would just be narrating.
If we can piece together some sort of Rockin' Nerd Chills Eve, that would be really funny to do. Is just keep putting people into terrible VR demos. But right on. Robin, congratulations are in order. I know you just reached level like 100 in Overwatch.
Yeah.
You got your first star, so congratulations.
Yeah, I'm 104 now.
Is there anything else you have been playing besides Overwatch this week?
A lot of Overwatch. Literally, like yesterday, I had to tell myself, like, I'm done for today. Like, I couldn't play anymore. Like, I had to stop.
So what did you play when you stopped?
Angry Birds Star Wars.
How'd that go? Was it good?
It was very good. I got like 3 achievements. It was amazing.
Cool.
Yeah. I had to go to a game that was just like super basic.
Super basic, super mindless. That somehow records game clips.
Oh my god, so
constantly.
many game clips. I had to delete so many. It's like nonstop.
Like every time you
do something. If you kill like 4 pigs in a row, it's like recorded that clip.
The worst part is if you keep failing to get 3 stars, it keeps recording the clips of you failing. So it thinks you're doing well, so it's just like a bunch of captures of you being pathetic. So, right on. As for myself, I played some Friday the 13th because I'm still into that game. And then I booted up Assassin's Creed Origins yet again. And I got to like level 8. I was going through all the quests, did all the side quests in the starting area, and then I started hunting animals.
The parts where I watched you play it was like, what is even going on right now?
I was like riding on horseback and like running down like gazelles. Like, I need your hide to make a better quiver. And then finally I advance the storyline and it's like, achievement unlocked, complete the prologue. I was like, oh fuck, I just dumped like 12 hours into the prologue. So we'll see how it goes moving on from there. But,
I heard there's like weekly challenges.
Yeah, they just added in a new one that's like a horde mode. Last week before when I played it, they added in another boss. You can like fight gods.
Yeah.
And they added in Anubis, and I'm like, I am nowhere near on the level to do this yet. But yeah, it looks really interesting. They're adding a lot of content to it. I don't have this in the news segment, but Friday the 13th is going to be adding Shelley Finkelstein, which is one of the guys from Part 3, Friday the 13th Part 3. He's the one who, I don't know what exactly happens because I haven't seen the movie since I was a kid, but he's the reason why Jason wears a hockey mask. So he's
is it
going
like
to be...
prequel? Or Jason just doesn't wear a hockey mask until that one?
He doesn't. Like, the first one is all his mom, the second one is him being like a big monster, and then the third one he wears the hockey mask.
I have not seen any of them.
The original one, you'd be surprised. You'd be like, that was a really, really good horror movie. And then the second one, you're like, oh, now it's a monster movie, and it's terrifying. And then the third one, it's like, Jason plays air guitar.
Plays air guitar.
They just start getting fucking worse. Like, I know by the 4th or 5th Freddy, he was wearing a power glove to kill people.
Oh, that,
like a Nintendo
Michael
power glove.
Jackson. No, okay.
Yeah, it was just awful. But yeah, they're adding in a single-player mode where bots play as the other camp counselors and Jason, so you can play by yourself if you're antisocial. So they're updating all that stuff for free.
That
and
would be interesting to me, actually.
Yeah, that happens tomorrow.
Really?
Because I hate people.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It happens the Monday this releases. The only other thing I played, me and CJ were going to try and play Darwin Project, which had its NDA lifted. But I totally forgot about it last night and bailed on him.
Bailed on me. I was heartbroken.
I did. My apologies. I played Sea of Thieves.
Oh.
I had a
Lots
free
of
weekend.
Sea of Thieves.
I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but
There is an NDA for that?
there is. You can't stream it or capture anything from it. But I can say, I think, without getting in trouble, that everyone knows that there's like the 4-player action where everyone works together on the boat. They added in 2-player boats and single-player boats.
I'm telling Microsoft.
And I was like...
Get Phil on the phone.
Call Phil Spencer. Robin.
I like that you look straight at me.
Call Phil Spencer.
Like,
All right, send Phil his bat signal, which is probably just a
Tell him
picture
we
of your
have-
boobs
Shut
that says
up.
"Hey Bay" underneath it.
oh my god.
Tell him we have Sea of Thieves matters to discuss. And make sure you spell it T-E.
It's some T-bitty going on.
Right. But playing the single-player boat was much nicer because it's a much smaller boat. You can maneuver it all on your own. I was like, antisocial pirating?
Like a dinghy?
Yes, please. It's bigger than a dinghy, but it's more than enough to manage on your own. I hate you so much.
Oh my god.
I played for like 2 hours, and then a 4-person boat cruised on by and fucking obliterated me.
Oh, shit.
Because they finally changed how the cannons shoot. It's much faster
And you
than
were
it
like,
used
it's
to be.
not fun anymore.
I was like, I'm going to fucking kill them. And then I hunted them down and shot holes in their ship. And then they blew me out of the fucking water again. And I was like, I'm good. I'm going to switch over to Assassin's Creed where I don't feel like a piece of shit. So
Did they sink your battleship?
They did. They sunk my battleship.
Your battle dinghy.
My battle dinghy. But yeah, that was about it. As for what I've been watching, I'll wait till everyone else goes because I watched Last Jedi.
Right.
And I'll do a 90-second spoiler-free review. And then I think because me and Robin have so much to say on it that is spoiler-full, we'll probably do just like an extra episode where we just sit around and talk about what we thought of all the parts of the movie that are really important to not share.
You don't know? You know I don't care, so...
This is true, but I don't want to ruin it for any of our listeners, so that'll be a separate thing that they can just ignore. But yeah, so aside from that, I haven't really watched a whole lot. It's been a really awful work week. Very, very, very busy. So, Robin, what have you been watching this past week?
I watched Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and I've been catching up on Big Bang Theory.
That's true. We have watched some
Yeah,
Big Bang.
because I'm still on season 7. And what else did I watch? Did I watch any horror movies?
Probably a bunch of Hallmark bullshit.
I haven't watched Hallmark stuff
You
in a long
watched
time.
Jack
I've been
Reacher.
watching. Oh yeah, I did.
We watched Jack
I've
Reacher
never
last
seen
night.
Jack Reacher, and we watched it last night, which was really good. I wanted to watch a spy movie, and it was not really a
Spy-ish.
spy movie.
Yeah.
But and then I've been watching Food Wars, the anime. So
Right on.
yeah.
Charlie,
All
what have
about
you been
that
watching
food.
this past week?
Well, I watched a bunch of Forensic Files, and then I started
Santa
watching...
Claus?
Forensic Files?
Oh,
It's a little bit
They
different.
Just like
Just a little
Santa
bit.
they just put Santa Claus on Netflix.
They break into your house
So-
the exact same.
I would not watch the Santa Claus again.
Listen to Tim Allen.
I'd rather literally watch people get murdered over
Oh
and over,
Wow. It's intense.
even if it is just dramatic reenactment.
I would much rather watch the Santa Claus than any of the Hallmark bullshit that plays in my home.
That's fair.
On a nearly... I made up a bullshit premise in 30 seconds earlier today. I was like, they should make a movie about this, and this guy's just a secret prince, and this lady has kids. And I went over like just to make fun of it, and then Robin is just like, can you please email that idea to Hallmark so they can make that a movie? I really want to watch it. I was like, I hate you so much.
So I watched that. Oh, I also started watching Unsolved Mysteries, which is like the super old. Like I've watching.
I
from,
remember
like,
it.
season 1.
I love Unsolved Mysteries.
You know what? It's the same people that make Forensic Files, because like the intro has the company's name, and I was like, that's so familiar. And then I went back to Forensic Files, and I was like,
Now it makes sense. Mystery solved.
and then I watched Fun with Dick and Jane.
That one's okay. I've seen that one.
I think that movie's super underrated, so I made someone watch it because they haven't seen it.
That's the one where he basically becomes a patsy for the company before it fails.
Yeah, it's like in the vein of like Enron and
Right. And their kid speaks Spanish because he
oh
was
my
raised
god,
by the
it's
nanny.
so funny.
Yeah.
And they're like carrying out the TV, and he's like, "Where aren't you taking my sponge, Roberto? Square pantalones."
Oh my god.
That's good.
I can't think of anything else I've watched. I think that's it.
Right on. CJ, have you watched anything?
No, not really. I haven't had too much time to watch anything. I worked a lot of overtime this week, so it was pretty much come home, sleep, come home, sleep, come home, sleep. That's about all I did. Pretty sad week for me.
The curse of the retail person during holidays. It's rough. It's a rough life. Heart goes out to you guys. So I guess I'll just jump into a quick 90-ish second review of Last Jedi. If anyone wants to get their clock up, we can rock out with the clock out.
Oh my god.
Okay, so here we go. In 3, 2, 1. So there is definitely a lot to say about The Last Jedi. Most of it is giant spoilers. So I will
many
veer away
spoilers.
from that. I will say, if you're a Star Wars fan, obviously you've probably already seen it or you want to see it. I do encourage that. The best way I can describe the movie is that everyone I have talked to about the parts that I did not like in this movie agree they did not like it. It's just to what degree it affected your movie-going experience. I know Robin wasn't affected as much by the parts that we both didn't like, as much as I was. There are certain things that when you see it, you kind of roll your eyes, or it's kind of fan service. And full disclosure, I am not a fan of fan service, especially in movies like that. In fact, I kind of hate it. But I had my favorite moment ever in a Star Wars movie happen in this movie, and my least favorite moment ever in a Star Wars movie happened in this movie. So walking out of the theater, I was happy with how the characters had progressed. I was happy with the twists and turns the story had taken. It definitely didn't go the way I thought it would, and that doesn't mean I'm upset about how it went. I don't know where episode 9 is going to go now, and there's a lot of questions left unanswered, and there's a lot of things left unsolved. And Carrie Fisher does make it through the movie exactly how they said they would. That's full disclosure. They told everyone, like, hey, like, we plan on having her in the 9th once. They still have that challenge to face. That said, I didn't enjoy it as much as I wished I would have. I did enjoy the character arcs that they did have in there and sort of the nuance that you don't normally see in a Star Wars movie, but there was a little bit too much cheese in it for me and a little bit too much fan service for it to be my favorite Star Wars ever. I do think it's better than all the prequels, so I will give it a 6.5 out of 10 and say, go see it, but if you're not a fan of Star Wars, you can definitely wait for it to come out on Blu-ray. And that's everything I got.
Way over.
More like a... Well, you're over by like 12 seconds.
Yeah, way
How
over.
dare you.
Fudge you, Robin. Fudge you right in your stupid virgin face.
Fuck you.
Fuck you!
So how do you feel about like the director carrying over into the next trilogy?
I am okay with it. There's a part near the beginning where they're...
5, that's like worse than Justice League for you.
Yeah.
I mean, different hopes.
I think, honestly, they're about the same on my scale, but that's because I had high hopes for one and it didn't meet it. The other one, I had low expectations and it exceeded them. If you go into Star Wars thinking I'm going to see an okay Star Wars film, you'll be very happy with it.
That's why I told him. I was like, you're getting your hopes up. And
It's because I read reviews that are like 11 out of 10, like 98%, and I went and saw it and I was like, well, then you just ignored these parts. Or you thought that this is what Star Wars is.
Or
And
you're
it's
just like a fanboy.
yeah, and like even talking to people who really liked it, I'm like, well, what about that part? Oh, yeah, that was terrible. What about that part? Oh, I hated that. It's like, what about that part? Yeah, they could have done without that. It's like, okay, then. Like, then we're agreeing that we both didn't like the certain things. Like, it's similar to Empire Strikes Back. Some people love it, some people hate it. I love Empire. It's my favorite Star Wars movie. And it has some of the same mistakes that Empire made that people can't get past, that I didn't really care about. But it bothered me in this one for some reason, and I don't know why. But it's fun. I want to go see it a second time while it's still in the theaters. That, I don't know. It didn't get me as much as it got everyone else. And I felt really weird. I went to work, and I'm like, everyone seems to like it. And then I messaged my boss, who's like a huge Star Wars fan. He was like 4 out of 10.
Whoa.
And I was like, why? And then he messaged me like 3 scenes he didn't like. I was like, same here. Like, I hated that. Like, I didn't like it. And then we talked about all the things we loved in it, and I realized there's more that I like in it than stuff I don't.
That's
But
good.
when I left, it was like, I just had a really good steak, but something is stuck in my teeth and it really hurts. And that's all you can think of. And until you get that bad taste out of your mouth, you can't really appreciate some of the
Whoa,
good stuff.
steak in your teeth is not a bad taste in your mouth, you crazy bitch.
Let me wed a 12-pound steak between your teeth, you twat, and we'll see how much you like it.
We are
There
really
is
abusive this episode.
Right? The part that's my favorite part of all time in Star Wars is, like, not only, like, character-wise, one of the coolest things I've ever seen, it is the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen shot in a Star Wars movie.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's why having Rian Johnson as the director for the next 3, I'm like, I'm okay with that. He had a couple scenes where I was like, this is shot like a fucking soap opera. But the majority of the movie, it's gorgeous. And the stuff you see in the trailers where you're like, oh, that looks cool. Yeah, it's probably going to be amazing. So it's fun. If you don't mind a little bit of fan service and stuff like that, you'll have a really good time with it. So that's all I have to say about that. What did you think, Robin? Spoiler free.
I liked it.
You liked it more than I did.
And I liked it. Definitely wasn't like a 9 out of 10 type of movie or a 10 out of 10 type of movie. It was like a solid like 7.5
Okay.
or an 8 type movie. It was like the beginning amazing. Oh shit.
Yeah, you just banged the shit out of the mic.
Sorry. The beginning was amazing. The end was amazing. The middle parts were like eh. And there were some parts where I'm like, why?
shaking your head.
Just
Yeah.
why? But then there are some parts that shouldn't have been in a Star Wars movie, but I laughed anyway. Because if it weren't a Star Wars movie, it would be freaking funny. It would just be, it would be a good movie. If
Okay.
people didn't have the hopes of like, this isn't a typical Star Wars movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The way I described it to you on the way home was, it's like during the pitch meeting, he's like, I have a good idea for the beginning of the movie and a great idea for the end of the movie and some horrible fucking ideas for the middle of the movie. And they're like, gold, go with it. Because I swear to God, if I sat down with that movie and I could edit out like maybe 15 minutes, it would be like my favorite Star Wars of all time for sure.
Yeah.
I like Rogue One better than it. So I like darker
I like
side
Poe
of Star Wars.
Dameron.
Poe Dameron is just...
Awesome.
Oscar Isaac is an amazing actor.
Yeah.
I don't think he's attractive.
He's not attractive.
But I
I'm
think
sorry,
he's fantastic.
sir.
He's
You're not
very
attractive,
talented.
but you're very talented.
Yeah. And the Asian in the movie was excellent.
She was Vietnamese.
Vietnamese. She's still an Asian. So,
Yeah.
what's her name? Kelly Marie Tran?
Kelly, Tran.
Yeah, she was great. She was fantastic. She has a lot of scenes with Finn, and they worked really, really well together.
Yeah.
And I was like, pairing up the minorities. What the fuck are you doing? So, right on. That's everything we have for what we've been playing and what we've been watching. CJ, what do we have over there for Microsoft news?
Microsoft just says Merry Christmas, everyone. Go out and buy their stuff.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Charlie, what do we have for Sony news?
Well, I do have a couple things. First of all, they pushed back Ni no Kuni.
Aw.
It got delayed another month, 2 months actually, because I think it was set for January. Now it's set for March. So that's becoming the theme of the spring. Is everything is getting like a 2-month pushback, but it really sucks because that game is already kind of a quiet title, and this is the second delay.
Hopefully the delay will at least get people talking about it, since I haven't heard anyone say anything, and it's almost Christmas.
No.
So
I don't know. I'm also kind of worried about that game because it's very different than the first one, but hopefully it'll be good. And then the second thing I had was that, I don't know if we talked about this last week, but the Monster Hunter like open beta is going to be starting the 15th. That's 2 days ago. And you don't have to be PlayStation Plus member to
participate.
yeah, you can just go on there and
Oh,
check it
that's
out.
cool.
So that's
Cool.
kind of neat.
Yeah.
That is neat.
Other than that, I didn't really have anything too crazy.
It's a very, very quiet week in the video game news world.
Yeah.
I only had, I believe, one thing for the Nintendo news out here. It is my favorite article, and it's the thing I was really hoping to read at the end of this year. And the headline is as follows. This comes from TheVerge.com, but it was reported just about everywhere. Nintendo has sold 10 million Switch consoles in 9 months.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so
Pretty
they are
good.
on pace for the first year to sell 13.5 million consoles, which means in its first year it will almost eclipse the Wii U, and it would also beat out the Wii U's entire life cycle, I should say, and it'll also beat out the first year. It'll also beat out the first year sales for the Wii, the original Wii.
That's insane.
Which sold over 100,000 copies. And it's just picking up steam, and now that it's available everywhere,
Get it? Picking up Steam? Like,
I
it's a
guess.
different
The
game
Steam is
console.
Yeah.
I tried to make it funny. It's not.
you tried though. We appreciate that.
God
Yeah, the
damn
Wii
it.
U only sold 13.6 million units over the entire 5 years. So it's entertaining to me that the Switch is doing so well that it might blow right past that, and it makes me happy. It makes CJ right. He
Yes.
anticipated 100 million units during the life cycle, and it's really on pace to do that.
That's cool.
So really excited to see how it fares through the entire holiday season and see how much that number goes up. But good for it. That's everything I have for Nintendo news. Nintendo wishes you a Merry Christmas as well. Or Happy Holidays or Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa,
it's the same.
Kwanzaa. I can't remember how you say that. Happy Festivus especially, though.
For the rest of us.
In additional news, there's this big thing that happened recently where Disney bought 20th Century Fox Studios. They're taking over their television series, and they're taking over the movies. They're not taking over Fox News, however.
They also purchased. They also have now controlling interest in Hulu.
That's right. They totally do.
What?
Yes, they
Which
bought
means-
enough stock to have the control over Hulu, which means that will probably be their streaming platform.
Oh
Since they're
my
making their own streaming
goodness.
platform. Yep.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
My mind is blown right now.
Yeah.
And it only cost them $52 billion.
Only.
Only
Chump change.
52 billion.
Oh my goodness.
They also are going to be controlling plenty of stuff like, well, if you like FX, that now is owned by Disney. So Archer, all that stuff.
Oh my
The League,
God.
that is owned by Disney.
I can't wait for Mickey Mouse in Archer.
Right. I can't wait for Mickey Mouse
Oh my god, that'd be
and The League. I think that's over now, though.
The league is
The company's
over.
stakes in international networks like Star TV and Sky, which Fox is currently acquiring. Basically, they're going to buy it and then immediately hand it to
So
Jeez.
FX is the one that has like The Gifted and
Disney. FX has the movies, yes. And it has Legion as well. And that's another Marvel character that's, I mean, he's
so
an X-Men.
now Disney has like all control over all of those, and they can use the terms X-Men, and
They
they
can
do
use the
all that
terms
stuff.
mutant. And the big three that are now back in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if they want to be, are the Avengers and the X-Men. Can be in the same universe, along with
Oh
Deadpool
my goodness!
and the Fantastic Four. And for any fans of the Fantastic Four out there, I don't know if we have any, they canceled the comic. They were so pissed at how the franchise had been handled because the movies were terrible, even though when they rebooted it. They rebooted it. They decided to say that the terribleness of the movies was affecting the sales of the comics.
Yeah.
And they shut down the comics.
That's sad.
And so now they can bring it back. And Chris Evans was the most excited. He said he wanted to star in his
Do a
own
crossover.
Human Torch / Captain America, since he plays both those fucking characters. And I would fully support that. This article that is in the additional news section next makes me quite sad, and it's piggybacking off of that. What's up?
I got excited. Sorry, I just want to say I got excited for all the streaming possibilities because they were talking about how they're interested in all the old Fox shows like Futurama and Simpsons. And I love the idea of having like streaming abilities for all those games again, or all those shows again.
I would love to be able to sit down and do that. Like, just watch.
I would watch The Simpsons.
I would
from
watch
the
the whole
beginning.
the whole series.
I would watch Simpsons seasons 1 to 15 and be incredibly happy doing it, and then after that, I'd probably start being like, I should probably watch something else. It's kind of going downhill again. The deal comes too late for one specific thing, though.
What?
Hugh Jackman will not reprise his role as Wolverine when the Avengers eventually meet the X-Men.
Oh no!
Yeah, he had said for a really long time that if that was a crossover, he'd stay on and do it. And they talked to him about it during the press tour for his new movie, The Greatest Showman, which looks really emotional and amazing.
I really want to watch it.
And it's going to be a musical for those of you who don't know.
Yes.
But he did say this, and it really sums it up really well. Quote, it's interesting because for the whole 17 years, I kept thinking this would be so great. Like, I would love to see particularly Iron Man and the Hulk and Wolverine together. And every time I saw an Avengers movie, I could just see Wolverine in the middle of all of them, like, punching them all in the head. But it was like, oh, well, that's not going to happen. And it was interesting when I first saw that headline, it was just the possibility of it, and who knows what's going to happen. Obviously, I was like, hang on. But I think, unfortunately, the ship has sailed for me. But for someone else, I would really like to see Wolverine in there.
He's too old now.
He said the last time he, not for Logan, but for the Wolverine, that was the hardest it had ever been on his body to get that in shape, because he is so much older than he was when he first took the role. It's 17 years. And then they talked to him a little bit, too, about how he had to choose between the X-Men franchise and 007. He was offered 007 before Daniel Craig. And 007, they told him he was really interested in it. And they told him, like, you'd have to work by our schedule. You have zero creative input. You just show up and do what we tell you. And he said no. He was like, fuck that shit. He's like, it wasn't as gritty as he wanted it to be. He wanted there to be some grit, and the character of Logan has that.
I was going to say, at least he got to do that with Wolverine.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he wanted. And I think he made the right choice. He would have been a great 007. Yeah. It's weird to think of all these things.
More popular as Wolverine. Like, I know that's probably not a factor, but, like, I would say Wolverine is arguably a more popular character in this day and age.
Yeah. What's funny too is like,
look what it did for Daniel Craig.
Right.
Nothing.
When you think of like the X-Men, like those movies could just as easily have tanked. And like when Last Stand came out, it didn't do well, but everyone still really liked him. They really liked his performance, and then they rebooted it. They had First Class, and who's the only X-Man that made a cameo in First Class? Fucking Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. And like it didn't even make sense to have that happen in the timeline. And then they're like, we could reboot this again and have Hugh Jackman in it. And that's where Days of Future Past came in. That movie's fucking fantastic.
It's a good one.
I really think it's true. You can say, honestly, that entire franchise owes the fact that it's that popular to him. Because he made that character. Like, when you think Cyclops, you do see James Marsden. But Cyclops just wasn't as compelling of a character. When you think of Jean Grey, you see Famke Jensen, or however you say her name.
Yeah.
But, like, everyone's like, when you go to see
They're
X-Men, you're thinking
replaceable,
Wolverine.
though. You can't replace Wolverine.
Yeah. So it's like...
Same thing with 007. That's why he's not as memorable. It's like, you just replace him and anybody could play him. Like,
as weird as it sounds when I think of... I don't know... Well, I mean, I do know one other thing Famke Janssen was in. But, like, when I think of James Marsden, I think of, like, 27 Dresses and 30 Rock. Like, they're all the rom-coms he's been in. Because it's just really funny.
And
I
the
love
Notebook.
27 Dresses.
I don't know about
He's
that
in
one.
Sex Drive, and he is so fucking
Oh,
funny.
my goodness.
If you've never seen Sex Drive, go watch it.
Yeah,
It is
it's
hilarious.
so funny.
Famke Janssen, all I remember her from is Nip Tuck.
I've never seen her in Nip Tuck. I've never seen Nip Tuck.
God, it's
I remember her from like
weird show.
Rounders and
If we get that FX streaming service,
is she the one in
you
Hemlock
can watch
Grove?
Nip Tuck, huh?
Is she the one in Hemlock Grove?
I've never seen
I think
Hemlock
she
Grove.
is. I'm
She
not
is?
positive though.
She's Jean Grey from the original X-Men
I
movies.
understand that.
So yeah, she's in Hemlock Grove.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you, CJ.
No
I
problem.
always think of her in like these really creepy roles. I don't know if she's creepy in Hemlock Grove, but she's creepy as fuck in Nip Tuck.
She's
Oh
creepy.
yeah, she's creepy in Hemlock Grove.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Hemlock Grove's
he's
just creepy.
officially not excuse me, he's officially not coming back. Got a little choked up there.
Oh.
Not really, my throat's just a disaster.
I'm not surprised he's doing like dramatic musical. I mean, he did Les Mis.
Yeah,
He
he's
loves
a musical
singing,
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He the first time I heard of him, I swear to God this is true. I was watching Pardon the Interruption on ESPN when I was in high school, and it's a show about sports. The X-Men movie was about to come out. At the end of their show, they do like a quick 60 seconds. They do just like super rapid fire questions back and forth to each other. And one of them was asked to Tony Kornheiser, who's like this old white dude, 65, and they're like, new X-Men movie's coming out. You going to go see it? He's like, absolutely, I'm going to go see it. And you know why? Hugh Jackman's a stage actor. I've seen the play Oklahoma at least 20 times. He is the single greatest performer I've ever seen in my life. And wow. I was like, the fact that Hugh Jackman was like 18 years younger at the time, and Tony Kornheiser, who doesn't give a shit about comic books, was like, that guy's fucking amazing, I'm going to go see it. Like, it's so sad that he's stepping away from the role. But he's awesome. We'll move on. Sad stuff.
Okay.
My phone locked, and it doesn't like my fingerprint anymore.
Dun,
Here we go.
Dun.
So for those of you who have Grand Theft Auto 5, yeah, you got this brand new, giant, awesome update where you can do this amazing heist called the Doomsday Heist.
I thought you were going to say, like, they're shutting down the servers.
Yeah, they're going to shut down this money tree that keeps growing money faster than they can fucking collect it. No, there is a mission in Grand Theft Auto 5 that has a connection to Red Dead Redemption 2.
What?
Yeah, you get this fancy little prize. I won't spoil what it is.
It's all connected.
Oh,
but
I want to
go
know
on
what
there
the
and you
prize is,
can-
because I'll never play it.
You can find... I'll tell you offline then.
Okay.
You can find this secret mission that connects you to Red Dead Redemption 2. It has some storyline to it
What
as
if you
well.
say it in Pig Latin? No one knows that shit.
You get an ungay. She's not even paying attention anymore. She's off in her own world now.
No, sorry.
No, we're good.
Okay.
I spoiled it for the listeners, and you still didn't hear
I
it.
hate you.
It'll be a big surprise for you when it happens.
Okay.
Or if you listen to the
going-
podcast.
Right? That's true, so we know she'll never know. Going back to The Last Jedi, it had the second biggest opening day ever. Second only to The Force Awakens. It took in, let's see if I can get this right, $104.7 million just in Friday alone. Force Awakens took in $119 million.
Wow.
It also had the second biggest midnight opening. I believe it took in $45 million, where Force Awakens took in $57. And for the weekend, it's the second biggest opening ever, again, to Force Awakens. It took in $220 million. Force Awakens took in $248 million.
Wow.
So it did have some drop-off, but I do think it is a better movie than Force Awakens. It doesn't rehash old tropes. I really want to say one thing, and it's too much of a spoiler.
Don't
but
say it.
There's something from
Pig Latin. No.
right. There's something from the prequels that just was terrible, and everyone hated it. And they don't redo it, they don't rehash it, but they kind of tread in the same water, and the way they handle it is the best way you could ever handle it. And I think that sort of redemption for things that have been screwed up in the past is why people really love this movie so much more. So it's when you see it, you'll be like, I know exactly what the fuck he's talking about. And if you've already seen it, you're like, oh, it's that part. And you can direct message me. Don't tweet at me because everyone can see that, and you'll spoil shit for people. So I would beg of you not to do that to your friends. Only 2 articles left before we get
fake ones.
to the game of the year, right? Fake spoilers. I couldn't believe Batman showed up. I thought Ben Affleck didn't want to do it again. More serious topic. This is kind of sad, but the trending gamer of the year, according to the Game Awards.
Oh, no.
I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but he took to the airwaves to like 1.4 million people and didn't play any video games, but I watched the video. And he's visibly shaken and upset. He's wearing a hat so you can't see his face. And he announced to his followers that the character he plays is indeed a character, and that's not who he really is. But he loves his family, which is hard to say because he was unfaithful to his wife. And he's like breaking down the entire video. And then he says that he's taking some time off from streaming, which is what's making him enough money where he showed up to the Game Awards in like a Lamborghini.
What?
Yeah, and he's going to take time off
my
to
God.
try and basically fix his life. And I would just imagine, after I watched that it's like, something happened, his wife found out, and she's like, you're going to go online and tell everyone you're a cheating piece of shit.
It probably happened right after that show.
It wouldn't shock me if he got too big of a head and
Made a
just decided to
mistake.
go fuck some slut and somehow got caught. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, there you go, man. Your career's like fucked now, and your wife wants to leave you. You might never see your kid again.
You know what else got
Yeah.
fucked? That chick.
I mean, he's not like super fucking famous, so I mean,
No.
you don't know that she knew. Like, it's not like Kobe Bryant. Like, I know
Oh,
he's
no.
married. He's in the public eye. Like, she might not be a slut.
Oh, no. I just assume that, like, if you can sleep with a married man, unless he, like, hid the fact that he was married, So
I was looking at the article you posted, the Kotaku article, and I really liked the first comment. And I know he says it's a persona, but the first comment was like, so the dude who made a name for himself being an asshole to people in online games turns out to be an asshole in real life.
Right.
Wow, totally didn't see that coming.
I was telling Robin, as soon as he comes back to streaming, people are going to fucking troll him.
I don't think
hard.
he's going to come back.
I think if he comes back, it'll be a completely different... He won't be his persona anymore.
All I have to say is Andrea Renee should have won.
Yeah. Unless she's a cheating whore and we just didn't hear about it because she didn't announce it.
She keeps her shit to herself.
Right? She keeps it in her pants and she's, discreet.
She was like, you won the award, let me ruin some lives.
You won the award? My husband still loves me. What's up?
Nah.
I seriously, if I saw Dr. Disrespect playing a game, I'd be like, are you using mods, bro? And he'd be like, what do you mean? I'd be like, I heard you cheated. Boom. That's right. Lame jokes. Take that.
I can't even.
What do you think, CJ?
Sadly, I don't think he comes back to streaming, or if he does, he's not going to have anywhere near the numbers he was pulling before he left. He's already lost something so he had 1.4 million Twitch followers the day the video released. He had dropped something like 100,000 already, which I know isn't a lot in comparison, but there's people that are just bailing on him. His Twitter's full of just tons of SJW hate mail. And
Wow.
if I just have to compare it to two people that are pretty big in the gaming universe, I'd have to think about the Colin Moriarty thing, where he basically has to leave kind of funny, leave all of his friends behind. And his was just based off of a tweet that was supposed to be funny because he was making fun of the fact that it was International Women's Day or whatever. So for him to actually come on stream in front of the time, I think it was 33,000 live viewers, and state that, it might help him in some regards for some of his viewers, but I think for the most part, he's just going to get ripped down by most of the SJWs that are out there on Twitter, and probably invade his Twitch once he decides to ever come back.
We're about to
What
ask
is
the same question.
SJW?
The social justice warriors.
What is that?
The people that
People
go
that go on
around
Twitter.
and ruining people's lives because they do bad things.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, I don't think it'll matter. I feel like if he wants to come back, he'll be fine.
I think he'll be able to come back. I do think his sponsors
Oh, yeah, maybe.
will be gone.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
they're probably already pulling
Was
from
he
him.
sponsored by Netflix?
Right? I don't know. Kevin Spacey?
Oh, yeah, I mean, there's a whole market for that.
Right.
The Weinstein Company?
Yeah. Fuck. Oh my god.
No, that's not the same level.
No, not at all.
No, not at
yeah,
all.
this is. He even said during his announcement when he was crying too hard to even speak, he's like, "Stupid fucking mistakes, man." He's just shaking his head. He wouldn't even look at the camera right in the eye because he was crying so much. I was like, "This is hard to watch, but he fucking deserves it. He needs to be on here and he needs to be embarrassing himself because if he wants to save his marriage, that's exactly what he needs to do." So that sucks. So keep your dick in your pants, people in relationships, or you're gonna ruin your lives
Oh my
eventually.
god.
I mean,
It's the lesson to be learned.
I think it's nice that someone who cheated on their wife is embarrassed and ashamed, because I feel like that's normally the woman's role. You get cheated on and you're embarrassed and ashamed.
Yeah, because it
And
happened
that's
to
not
you.
right.
He was the most ashamed I think I've ever seen a human being choosing
And you have 2 dogs.
to broadcast it, right? Oh my god. But yeah, so that's if you want to go ahead and check that out, you guys can let us know what you think of it, and if you're a fan or a follower or someone who's donated money to Dr. Disrespect,
Man.
What?
yeah, give us your
Yeah,
thoughts.
because
He makes fucking
Huge on Patreon.
hundreds of thousands of
And-
dollars from people just donating to him
Yeah.
while he streams.
yeah.
If you ever watched an 8-hour stream of his, you'd see people just dropping. You could literally
so
pay your fucking
here's
rent.
a crazy stat
Oh
for you.
my goodness.
So you have to do a $5 donation in order for your name and message to pop up in the corner of his stream.
Okay.
So if every person did a minimum of $5, one day when I watched him stream for 11 hours, he ended up getting 575 donations.
Oh my
Times
goodness.
5.
So times
It's almost
that.
3 grand
By
just
five.
from the donations. To
The
get your
most I've
message
ever
out.
been donated is $5.
Keep it in your fucking
That's
pants,
it.
Robin. That's all we can say.
He has
She'll
about
be rolling
30,000 subscribers, paying out at $2.50 a subscriber each month.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Jesus.
The dude's... He's got enough... If he doesn't come back to streaming, he's got enough money to live comfortably, but...
Yeah, this is
Sell
very
his
true.
Lambo and
Sell
stuff.
your fucking Lambo, you fucking turd.
He doesn't actually own a
You
Lambo.
fucking turd.
That's just me being jealous of his
Maybe
money.
you just rented a Lambo.
Yeah,
Could be.
They actually,
We ran a Lambo show up to
when he showed up to like TwitchCon with it, Twitch actually rented it for him to show up in.
wow.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I think it just matches his persona of like super hetero macho douchebag, and then his life matched his persona.
I don't think I could pretend like that.
I could pretend to be like angry, like it's just funny that way.
You do
But
that on
Like
many
raging.
I know, but I don't want to pretend to be super rude to people all the fucking time, especially
Yeah.
strangers. But I don't know. But let's move on to the last article of additional news, and then we'll do Game of the Year.
I don't really know if this is like super newsworthy, but I thought it was cool. So they've made a few different Adventure Time games. There was the one about the Ice King on DS, which I actually really liked. I don't even watch Adventure Time,
Really?
and I played that game from start to finish. Like I just thought it was fun. I love the art style. Like I like the idea of the characters and stuff. I just whenever I watch the show, it's like watching an episode of an animated version of Juno. Like they just talk too cool. You know what I
Really?
mean? Like they're just like mathematical and we love pancakes and we're so hip. But anyways, the games are fun.
Pancakes are hip.
Yeah, I think so.
They have to be.
Duh.
So then they made Explore the Dungeon because I don't know why.
I remember that one. I remember when that came out.
Which is like a dungeon crawler. I played a little bit of that. It was fun. But it was ruthless. Like if you died, you had to start back at the top of the dungeon. And then they have one called Finn and Jake Investigates. I've never played that one. Anyways, so they've
Sounds
announced
like a point.
a new open world game coming to consoles and PC next year called The Pirates of Enchiridion.
What?
How do you
Enchiridion?
spell that?
It's Enchiridion. Enchiridion.
Wow. Sounds fancy.
But you travel around on a boat, and it looks like Enchiridion, I'm pretty sure, is the... well, I don't know, because the land of Oo is like their actual homeland, so I don't know what
The land of
Enchiridion
Oo?
is.
Ooh.
Ooh.
But it looks pretty fun, and I like the idea of it being open world, and I thought that it was
Oh,
worth
is that the art?
mentioning. Yeah, that's like what Adventure Time looks like. But anyways, it will be out next year. It's coming to Switch, which is
Cool.
kind of cool. And it's made by a company that I really haven't heard very much about, except for they made Ben 10.
Oh, wow.
Well, not Ben. They made Ben 10 games. They're called Outright Games, and they made Ben 10 and Barbie and Kung Fu Panda.
So they
and
do all
Monster
their like
High.
movie.
They've done a
TV
ton of
show.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. Licensed stuff.
So I don't know. Hopefully it's in good hands and it'll be cool. But I thought it was kind of neat. I didn't even know that show was still popular.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
And now you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Copyright strike! If they listen to us, which they don't. Right on. That's everything we have for you guys for additional news. So we can roll... This is weird. All of our computers that we have that were idle just booted up. Like,
Mine
there must
too?
have been... Yeah, it just did. It just went silent again. there must have
shit.
been a little mini earthquake that we didn't notice.
Uh-oh.
So, we're rolling into Game of the Year. We're having
Pizza's done.
a little system. Yeah, this is how we know that the pizza downstairs is waiting for us is done. We have a little system going on, but we're all going to read you our, as Charlie scolded me for not doing it properly, our top 5 games of 2017. The games we enjoyed the most. Not necessarily the games you enjoyed the most, because we don't give a fuck about you, because it's the
Dude,
abuse episode.
Do whatever you want to do.
Exactly.
We do
thought-
give a fuck about you,
So
Adam's being a douche.
last episode we did top 50, and top 50 at
It's
least.
not true. That's the future you're talking about, Charlie.
Oh, sorry.
Top 50 is
Strike.
coming. Top
Strike
50
that.
is coming up for Christmas time.
Yes. In the future, we do top 50, and when compiling that list, it felt like there was a lot of stuff on there that it was like half of us haven't played this, but we know it's like critically great.
Like bust a move.
Shut up! I love that game, okay?
Just wait till next week, guys. We got some great stuff for our Christmas break lined up for you.
But anyways, so I would just was depressed thinking that I was gonna have to be like, well, I mean, this game was really great. Most people thought so. Number 1.
You looked broken after we did the top 50 episode, I won't lie. So
I'm
I'm glad that
fine.
you scolded me. So I have changed my list. So hopefully you guys have your top 5 lists
Yep.
of games for the year ready to go.
Can I put Game of the Year as a game that came out last year?
Is it
Oh.
Overwatch?
Yes!
I don't know. We'll rule on that when we get to it. Set your fucking list on fire. CJ, do you got your 5 ready to go, bro?
Sure do.
Okay, so here's how we're going to do this. So, shut the fuck up, Robin. Any game that is picked in the 5th spot will receive 1 point. 4th spot will receive 2 points, and so on and so forth.
All over the place.
Right.
You're taking tally,
If
right?
I'm taking Overwatch off, I need to add a different game, and that'll
You can
change
pick
my
Overwatch.
list.
It didn't
Jesus
come out
Christ.
this year.
I know.
Game of the Year came out this year.
Boom.
So you're gonna rate the
Game of the Year edition?
Do you actually have the Game of the Year edition?
Yeah.
She does.
Okay, fair.
Okay, so
I
the
didn't
top
buy it
spot...
till the anniversary.
Top spot will receive 6 points, and any game that receives at least 6 points tallied between the 4 of us will be entered into the Game of the Year discussion, at which point we will figure out which game wins with a monkey knife fight. That said, I am Furious George, and we can all read off our 5s, and then I'll tally up the points for all the games that we
I'm gonna
have.
be Mysterious George.
Mysterious George.
Wait, what's
I like
the
it.
name of the...
Someone
no, that's a
please have that
gorilla.
username.
Never mind. Or no, that's an ape. You said monkey, right?
Who? Where? Where
I
am
was gonna say like the kid from, or the ape from Planet of the Apes, but you said
Caesar.
monkey.
Caesar.
Caesar.
But you said monkey, so not apes, right?
Yeah, correct. Monkey knife fight. No apes.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. I don't even know where I'm
I
at right now.
wouldn't want to bring a gorilla to a monkey fight.
Obviously.
That
right.
would be
Oh my
cool.
god, this is weird.
CJ, what's your number 5 game?
So my number 5 game of the year was Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Oh, nice.
What? How did it make it into your top 5?
Oh yeah, I guess there's supposed to be an explanation. I should probably finish reading instead of just thinking, oh, top 5 games. Okay, here we go. So I got to play like the demo, and that was really it. But I'm a big fan of Resident Evil games. There's a lot of good jump scares throughout the game. I've watched a lot of people play it on Twitch, and then I also feel like it should be somewhere towards the top of the list for a lot of people, just because it's helping kind of push in the new era of VR. Because they built their game from the ground up to work with VR, and not a lot of people do that. And right now, VR is a lot of indie games, and that was one of the first like AAA titles to come to VR.
And to do it well, too.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
So that's why I think it deserves a spot up there.
Cool.
Word.
Charlie, what's your number 5 for the game of the year?
Animal Crossing Pocket Camp.
I knew this was going to show up on someone's list. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp.
It is not. I mean, I don't know. Maybe not. It's definitely not in very many top 5 game of the year.
But it's like,
I'm sure.
if there were a mobile game list,
We're a
it would be...
mobile-heavy podcast.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't play as many mobile games as we do. So
I really like that game. Like, I'm super addicted. Like, playing it every day.
Yeah.
Most weeks, that's all I play. The other day, I fell asleep with my tablet 2 feet in front, or like 2 inches in front of my face, like propped up against a pillow. So yeah, I'm just playing it nonstop, and I don't think I could have a game of the year list and not bring up the game I probably played the most this year, other than Horizon.
right on.
And now that they've added flowers, it makes it even longer.
I don't know.
Right on.
See how
Robin,
the flowers play out.
what's your number 5 game of the year this year?
I chose Horizon Zero Dawn.
For number 5?
Yeah, just because it's incredibly critically acclaimed. The graphics were amazing, and the story was pretty cool when I watched you play it.
Right on.
I bought a statue. I bought an Aloy statue. It was like $50. It wasn't anything crazy, but it's really well detailed. And one of my coworkers kept saying like, "Oh, is that Alawi?" And I was like,
no.
"What name is that? Is she
It's
like
I
from?
want to make
is she
sure I'm
from the
politically
island?
correct
Like,
when I
what
ask
is
you this,
that?"
but is your brain fucking broken?
I was like, "Where is that name coming from?"
Right on. And Adam, what did you pick for your number 5? Well, Adam, Charlie scolded me, so I changed my list around entirely, and PUBG fell right the fuck off.
What?
And in its place, I put Friday the 13th.
Wow.
Because
Good for
I have
you.
played that game more than any game this year.
Let
I
your
still keep
freak
going
flag
back to the
fly.
well. And I play it despite the fact that I do get kicked because it's fucking peer-to-peer hosting, which I hate. So if one person dies and they're upset at the way they died and they quit the game ends. Which is very frustrating when you wait like 8 rounds to play fucking Jason.
Yeah.
But when you play it and it works and you're with a really good group of people, it is the most fun I probably had all year. So
Can we please hear a story of how fun it was recently for you?
I played with some guy who was very, very funny. He was an adult in a room full of like 6 children. I was the only other adult, and he was fucking hilarious. He was just being really mean to these kids when they were acting stupid. We got like the 4-seater car of people ready to leave, and it was just me and him. And he's like, "Yo, dog, I gotta save people. It's just who I am." So he turned around and went back into the camp, was picking people up, like honking the horn. We're like outrunning Jason. He's the best driver I've ever seen. And then there was just some guy standing in front of us on the road, and Jason teleported behind us and was walking to us. He's like, "Yo, dog, I'm not trying to be a dick here, but I'm going to run you down if you don't get the fuck out of the way." I was just laughing my ass off. And the guy moved out of the way, and we drove out, and Jason tried to catch us, and he couldn't catch us in time, so he just brutally murdered the guy who couldn't get in our car because the car was too full. I think it's funny that when you play that game, it's like, there's only 4 seats. We're not sitting, bitch. We're not going to squeeze into the back. You're going to have to die, man. Like, I'm sorry. That's just how it goes. We're not pumping the trunk either.
Yeah, we don't want a ticket.
Right? We're not going to break the law here. So, it was just super fun. That was like yesterday. And it's like, I bought that game how long ago? And
Couple months ago.
Oh, it's been longer than that because October was Friday the 13th.
You bought it like
That's when I went back
Came
to
out in
Like
June.
right when it came.
Yeah,
right when
right
it
after
came
it
out,
came
you
out.
bought it.
That's like 6 months of me playing it. Maybe I've played Breath of the Wild more than that because I played it all in one
And
sitting.
it was so popular. Like,
Yeah.
It took the world by storm for a minute there.
And I go into the club, and like you can just go into the club and see like who's playing, and there's always people playing it. Like even though it's kind of fallen off, and they're still updating it, which I appreciate. So that's my number 5.
Good for you.
CJ, what is your number 4 this year?
Oh, God. My number 4 is Call of Duty World War II. And I picked that one, because Call of Duty is something that's just close to my heart. I love playing it. I've met a lot of really good friends playing it. They finally went back to boots on the ground and not the stupid jetpacks. I don't need Halo in my Call of Duty. I'll play Halo if I want to play that.
Those
So-
ground boots.
Those ground boots.
So popular.
I've just had a blast playing it. It's been a good time. I'm super excited to play it for the next 10 more months that it's got left in its life cycle until the next one comes out.
Right on. I can see that.
Until the next Call of Duty.
Right. Charlie, what's your number 4?
South Park, The Fractured Butthole.
I knew that was going to make your list. I just didn't know how high it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, so they didn't reinvent the wheel. Nothing changed dramatically. They introduced classes because obviously it's all superhero based, which gives you more replay value, I think. Because in the previous one, you could choose different characters, but you weren't really, I don't know, there wasn't as big of a class system. Like in this one,
Right.
you can choose what type of superhero you want to be, and then you build upon your character sheet, like you build out a character sheet. And there's a lot of the newer South Park stuff in it, so I wouldn't honestly suggest it if you haven't at least watched some of the newer episodes. But it's really entertaining, and it's still fun, and I liked building my own character. I really like that you don't have to be a gender. Like, you can be,
You
like,
can be whatever you want.
like, I don't know what they call it now. It's cisgender or something? Like-
Cisgender is what we are.
Okay, so what is, like, I don't know, like, not declaring a gender.
I don't know.
We don't know,
I
but
just
we
say queer.
respect it.
Retarded?
Queer?
Whoa.
No, you know. You just know. No.
Right on.
But yeah, I really liked it. I haven't fully played through it, but I'm excited for there to be DLC too, which they haven't done that before.
Right. It'll be good.
But
I
I
haven't
miss
played it
Canada.
yet, so I got to catch up on the
Canada from
series.
Stick of Truth.
Yeah, I've heard that that's amazing, but I haven't played
Best
Stick of
thing.
Truth yet.
You gotta play it.
Right on. Robin, what is your number 4 game?
Mario Odyssey. I don't know. Maybe it should be higher up on the list, but I put it there. And maybe it's because I haven't played it a lot. I've only played what we played at E3. So, I mean, it's good, and I can see why a lot of people do like playing that game. Like, you played that game a whole bunch.
A whole bunch in comparison to,
2 other games.
yeah, since I play like 5 minutes of everything.
Yeah.
All right. Just dabble here and there. Dip a lot of toes in a lot of pools.
But
I like to play
It
this
was cute.
installation game.
the
With
premise
all
is
the
cute.
games.
The graphics are cute. The worlds are huge.
Right.
Like,
There's
so
a
many moons,
lot of
man.
moons.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like
god.
800 moons.
No
It's
one's
Many
gonna finish
moons.
it.
So my number 4 is Super Mario Odyssey as well.
what?
Yeah.
What?
It was the first platformer in a long time that made me want to play it. And granted, I only played it a little bit, and I was like, you know what, I think I'm good, because I'm not a platformer guy. But I did appreciate it, and if I'm going to go back and play any platformer, it would be that one.
I would say, when it gets cheaper, you'll pick it up, but it probably won't happen for like a decade.
It's Mario, and it's Nintendo, so
Yeah.
they'll never lower the price. CJ, what do you got for your number 3?
My number 3 was Destiny 2. And reason behind that is I had a lot of fun playing it. I was able to go back and play with some friends that I hadn't played with in a while, because when I stopped playing the original Destiny, that's all they kept playing. So when I got to finally pick up the game again, it was a good time kind of reconnecting with them. And I feel like they, even though they came up with more wrongs, they righted a lot of things from the first game. Because the first game was not perfect by any means.
And this one has a storyline.
This one has...
Did they have a lot of things that are wrong with it now?
No, not
The
necessarily.
experience, the entire
I see,
controversy over the experience not being what
There
it
was the
supposed to be.
experience issue, and then there's still the same issue of you're buying a disc that has content on it that's locked to pay for later. They still had the DLC debacles.
Which is the same thing as before.
Yeah.
Same thing as before, which if that's the only thing that they don't get right come Destiny 3 or whatever they want to call it, and they fix more issues, then that's fine with me. It's a good enough game to feel like you have to put extra money into it besides $60. So would I prefer if they just made the game $80 and gave me all the DLC free? Sure, but at the end of the day, I don't think that's how they're ever going to do it. One, because it's Activision, and two, that's just not how games work nowadays right now. So we'll kind of see what happens in the future.
The world we live in.
Right on. I can see that. I didn't play any of the Destinies, so 1, 2, or any of the things in
I've only
between.
played the beginning of Destiny 1.
I played all of Destiny 1. They definitely amped up the storyline. I could tell that even from the beginning of Destiny 2.
Did they change whoever does the audio for the ghosts?
It's Nolan North now.
Okay.
Nolan North.
I just remember I couldn't get through
Peter
Destiny
Dinklage.
1 because Peter Dinklage was so bad.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Well,
get
they
through
hotfixed Dinklage out of the game.
Yeah, so now it's Nolan North is in the first one too.
Yeah, it was
That's
so the game came out in September, around December. It was like a 2 gig patch out of nowhere, and they completely hotfixed him out.
Wow.
They probably didn't want to pay him royalties anymore for something
Yeah.
that everyone hated.
Yeah.
It was like a text adventure in my mind because they would show like a cutscene, but really it was just your plane floating in midair while
Right.
that guy fucking talked.
Yeah.
That was the whole storyline of Destiny 1.
Really weird.
And everyone was like, skip. And then
And
I
then
got to the
there were-
DLC, and I just couldn't. I was like, I don't even know what happened.
And then in the original Destiny, so the storyline wasn't there, but there were these things called Grimoire cards. So when you would do certain things, or get a certain weapon, or go to a planet, or you would get these little like in-game achievements, I guess you could call it. And the cards would have information about the weapon, or about the planet you went to, or about what's going on in the universe. And there was more story in reading those cards than there was actually playing the game.
Wow.
If
so
you
sad.
read the cards.
But they did make the change for Destiny 2, which is what matters.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, right on. Charlie, what is your number 3?
Super Mario Odyssey.
Super Mario Odyssey officially becomes our first game to enter
I was
into
gonna
the
say,
Game
it's
of the
gonna
Year
be Game of the
conversation.
Year. Yeah, I mean, it was the first real 3D Mario game that I've enjoyed. I mean, you can say whatever you want about Mario Galaxy. I never could get into it. But since 64, it's the most fun I've had playing a Mario adventure game. And it reminded me so much of 64 that I really enjoyed it. And it's super freaking long. Like even longer than 64 probably is.
Right.
And even though it's kind of cheesy, there's a 2-player mode, which is cool. Like, I just feel like they covered all the bases. They knocked it out of the park.
Right on. Robin,
Mine is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
number 3.
Yeah.
Right on.
Sorry,
Okay.
I know it's not higher up there, but my number 1 space is saved for my number 1 game right now.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll let you do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Why did you put Breath of the Wild on there?
Just because it was really cool watching you play it and stuff like that. I never played it myself, obviously, but like critically acclaimed, cool story, amazing graphics. Like, it's such a pretty game. The monsters are cool. The battle system's cool.
Right on.
Fancy game. Fancy game's fancy.
My number 3 was Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Really?
I played it way more than Odyssey. I loved it. I love the fact that it was XCOM light, but there was still a lot you could do with it. I love the fact there's 2-player mode. I love that it's same couch co-op, or you can go online. I really, really, really like that game. And a lot of the people that I talk to that have Switch, that have both of them, that like tried to invest time into them, keep going back to it.
Yeah.
And I think it definitely deserves some recognition, and I think it should be a dark horse for certain sites for Game of the Year, because it was fantastic. And I really like seeing that Ubisoft guy cry, because he was so happy Shigeru Miyamoto said nice things about him.
And
It was a
it was
really nice
actually
moment.
a good game. Like, people were
Yeah.
like, rabbits, how dumb. And then it was great.
And then as soon as you try it, you're like, this is phenomenal.
And
So.
they won Best Strategy Game up against things like Total War and XCOM and like
Yeah.
serious
Halo Wars
strategy
2.
titles. Like, things that have been strategy franchises for years, so that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so I'm giving it my number 3 spot. CJ, what do you have for number 2 game of the year?
My number 2 is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And even though I haven't actually played the game myself, just watching your marathon when the game first came out, and then watching countless other people's marathons and reading reviews, it's kind of the game that needed to come out with the Switch if the Switch was going to have a good opening year. And with how much work they put into it, they made sure it didn't get delayed again. I just feel like it was kind of perfect. They released hand in hand. The game's doing well. The console's doing well. It kind of brought life back into Nintendo.
I totally agree. Charlie.
Oh,
what is your number 2?
My number 2 is Cuphead.
Cuphead. Wow.
Yeah. I have not finished that game, and it is admittedly short, but it was just beautifully done. Like, I freaking love it. I want anything to do with, like, the art style of it. Like, I just thought it was so creative and so cool and so original, and I love it. Even if it's difficult, I still want to play it and see it be played.
They just had the perfect balance of difficulty versus wanting to come back to it.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just amazing. I loved it.
Cool.
The end.
It's awesome.
The end. Robin, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is PUBG.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not going for heartfelt here, except for my number 1. I'm just going for what legitimately is like the hottest game right now.
So hot right now.
I would have loved your heartfelt list.
Right
it would have been like Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, it would have been like
Crash Bandicoot Remastered, and World of Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Oh, I totally would have had World of Final. I fucking love that.
I almost
game.
put Injustice in mine just because I did play a lot of it. That was earlier
we beat
this year.
the whole thing. That was super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I had a heartfelt list, it would be completely different. But I'm doing like legit, like what should be game of the year.
Going with PUBG.
So next week we can have a heartfelt game of the year, top 5.
We'll see. We'll see how much hate
This is
Robin
my heartfelt game of the year.
Number 2 for me, I put down Horizon Zero Dawn.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
That's high up on your list.
It is. I think if it wasn't for Breath of the Wild, I think Horizon Zero Dawn would have won Game of the Year.
Wow.
For just about everything. I think the only thing it would have competed with was Mario and Cuphead. But yeah, I think because Zelda came out the same year as it, it didn't get as much recognition as it should as far as the awards ceremonies so far have gone. But I think gamers have recognized the fact that it's incredible. I really like seeing the guys who made Killzone decide to switch over and make something completely differently and find even more success in the new franchise. And even though it's like I'm an Xbox guy, I like seeing a new franchise show up and do significantly well. And even playing it, like you watched me play Horizon Zero Dawn, it's just really fun. And there's certain things in it where I'm like, I wish this mechanic was in other games. Certain things I was like, man, I wish this played like Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of War, like here and there. But I thought it was phenomenal. So it is my number 2.
That's really cool.
All right, CJ, what is your game of the year for 2017? Your personal game of the year for 2017?
Mine would have to be PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. And I mean, I picked it to win the Game of the Year from the Game Awards, so it's probably a pretty obvious call. But once again, the experiences I had playing it, the experience I see other people have playing it, whether it be through streams or just hearing stories from my friends, it's a game that's really kind of changed online multiplayer, and they're pushing really big into esports, which I'm always a huge fan of because I want to always see it be successful. And it kind of filled the void towards the start of the year when H1Z1, King of the Kill is what it was called back then, started. They just kind of started forgetting about their game. They weren't bringing out updates. They weren't fixing the lag issues. They were having all these problems. And then this game came out, and a lot of people were mad because it was a copycat or whatever. They're just riding the curtails, whatever you want to say. It kind of proved them wrong. It's its own style of game. It's a lot slower. It's a lot more strategical. And it just kind of took over the internet. And it's still 1, 2, or 3 on top on Twitch. And depending on who's playing it, it's probably number 1 for the most part.
It's usually number 1 for Steam concurrent players too. So
yeah.
Definitely needs the recognition. And
it's not even fully out yet. It's already sold 2+ million copies. And it's technically an open beta or whatever, if that's what you want to call it.
Early access?
Early access.
Early access, yeah, sure. Whatever. Either it's the same name.
All right. A little bit different, but right on. Charlie, what is, I mean, we all know. What is your game of the year for 2017?
It's Horizon Zero Dawn.
It is. Why is it your game of the year?
It's a great game. It's beautiful. It's super creative. It's like an amazing storyline. A total shock coming from a studio that made it makes me want to play Killzone, because I remember when Killzone 4 came out and people were like, it's not bad. And it makes me want to almost play it, because it's kind of like an dystopian future looking game as well, but like just the concept and the storyline, and I don't know, I just love everything about it.
Playing it makes me think, like, I really feel like this studio looked at making Killzone way back in the day. It's like, well, everyone's making a first-person shooter, so we also have to. Or whoever was giving them the money to make the game was like, you guys need to make a first-person shooter. And I can't imagine how long they're like, let us make something else. Let us make something. Can you let us make something else? Then finally, like, it's Sony just going, okay, make something else. Yeah. And then they make something else like, see, this is what we've been trying to make for a really long time. And it just makes me wonder, had they made that switch at the launch of PS4 instead of like 3 years into the life cycle.
Yeah. Would it be more popular than it is?
Imagine if Horizon Zero Dawn had come out 6 months into the PS4's life cycle, and this was Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Yeah. It would be one of the biggest franchises in the world.
That's true. I don't think it's like poorly timed or anything, though. I think that it's cool that it's around the PS4 Pro, because it's just very pretty looking. Like, I have a Pro. Right. It's better on the Pro. It looks amazing.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous game, without a doubt.
So I love the music. Like, I love everything about it. Even though it's hard as fuck right now, and I need to go back and grind away until I can play the storyline again.
Right.
The voice
acting really
is so good.
Yeah, the voice acting is excellent.
Yeah.
So, Robin.
My number one is Overwatch Game of the Year.
It's such a cheap cop-out to put that game on when it came out last year. But we don't have a whole lot of rules.
Rules are we ain't got no rules.
Yeah. So, Overwatch, Robin. Why are you putting Overwatch in Game of the Year
so
contention
good.
again?
Because it's so good. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Right on. And predictably, my number one this year was Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Yeah. Gasp.
I'm not gasping. I knew.
You knew. It's just amazing. It's the best Zelda game I've ever played. It doesn't make it in the top 50 list that we did. Yeah, I didn't put it in there. It's just too new for me. For whatever reason, I didn't drop it in. Because I was thinking of nostalgia when we did our top 50 that will be coming out next week. But yeah, everything I wanted to do in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, I can do. And there's certain things where you run into an issue where, like I said, like you think like, man, I wish this did this like that, or I wish that did that like that. And every system in Breath of the Wild I fucking love. It almost ruins all the other Zelda games for me, except for maybe Link to the Past and Legend of Zelda. And the loot system and crafting everything and how you upgrade every slot and just everything about that game I absolutely love. I dropped 150 hours into it, and I could easily go back and drop another 300.
What I think is amazing about that game is watching the generations of people that play it. Like, before, I would have said, I don't know if Zelda is continuously appealing to the people, the new people. Like, they've redone Majora's Mask, they've redone Ocarina, like, they've done a lot of remakes. And the longer it goes, the more you just see people who are like, I played this when I was little, playing it now. Whereas now you see, like, 7-year-olds who are just obsessed with Zelda. And, like, That's crazy to me, because that's, like, in 20 years, those people will be you.
Aww.
I really think that the reason they decided, like, we're going to remake Ocarina on 3DS and we're going to remake Majora's Mask on 3DS is, like, we've had the eShop where they can go purchase these, and no one really, aside from Zelda nuts, will do it. When it's like, we're doing a full-blown re-release of Majora's Mask or Ocarina, it's like, we want that new generation to see what that game feels like on a console that matches the system expectations. Like, if you try to do a remake of Ocarina of Time looking like Ocarina of Time on, say, Wii U, people would be like, this looks like shit, But when you released it for 3DS and it sold so well and you can never find a fucking copy anywhere, it's like, it sort of brings in the new audience, like re-releasing Star Wars, that kids know who Darth Vader is, like 25 years after it happens. That way you can eventually just tell more story. And then when Breath of the Wild came out, it's like, when the first Zelda came out, it's like, you walk out of a fucking cave and it's like, figure it out. And that's exactly how Breath of the Wild was. It was you literally walk out of a cave, and it's like everyone I talk to, like when you talk to Breath of the Wild fans, it's like, which direction did you go when you started? And like, it's weird to think that one decision affected how you viewed the entire world. But when they brought out the tracer, which showed you the last 200 gameplay hours of where you went, you realize you missed huge sections of the entire map. And whether or not you turned right or left or went backwards or forwards had a massive impact on how that game unfolded for you. And it was just so much goddamn fun. It really was. It was unbelievable. Like, I streamed it for 24 hours, and I thought I was going to die by the end of it. And I, like, went to sleep, and as soon as I woke up, I started playing it again. And I just really, really liked it. So, Breath of the Wild, for me, my game of the year.
Awesome. Yay.
Good stuff.
Woot woot. It's done.
Hooray for everyone.
Okay, now give us
I
the
have-
scores.
I have a most anticipated game of 2018.
What is
Hit us
that?
With the digits.
Scalebound.
Oh my god.
It'll never happen. Me too. Half-Life 3. That's my 2018 super anticipated game.
Take Portal 3.
That'd be awesome. Okay, so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games qualify. There's 4 of us. 5 games
perfect.
qualified. So we got one person that snuck in a game, basically because we had consensus that it was a good game. No one put it at number 1, and that game is PUBG. PUBG has made it into the Nerd Chills 2017 Game of the Year running because it was solid. I left it off my list. I had it at number 5, and Charlie scolded me. And then didn't put Zelda on her list because she went by her heart and she didn't like Zelda.
It's not that I didn't like it. I just it
It's not
didn't
your
grab
game.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it didn't Harvey Weinstein you.
Wow.
We have Horizon Zero Dawn, Super Mario Odyssey, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, PUBG, and Overwatch. I gotta say, I almost put Cuphead on my list.
Wow.
I almost put Cuphead on my list, and then I was like,
No, I get
Overwatch.
it.
it was either switching out Cuphead for Odyssey. And I was like, I don't think Cuphead is better than Odyssey. And I didn't play either one of them very much at all for a Super Mario Odyssey, but I was like, it just has more to offer. And that's not saying much. I mean, it's a $20
We
game.
can just push Overwatch out and put Cuphead in.
No, you can't do that.
Why? It
You want
doesn't
to change your
count.
vote entirely?
No, but I mean,
Because Cuphead doesn't have enough points to get in.
oh well, if you
That's how that
If you
works.
move Overwatch out, what gets pushed? Up?
Nothing. You had to get 6 points in the voting system
What?
to get moved in.
Oh,
You
wow.
clearly didn't read the agenda for how any of this worked.
Nope.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
Cuphead, no matter what, falls short.
That sucks.
So we have 5 games to pick from, ladies and
Okay.
gents.
Are you picking?
What's that?
Oh, you mean there's a 5-way tie, or is
No,
it just
it's like
in
a-
order?
Oh, no, 5 made it in.
Oh, I
for
thought
us
we
to
were just
decide.
doing it in order. Like how many points to lowest?
Oh, like, no. We're just going to have
we're
Monkey
just gonna
Knife fight
choose-
to figure out which one it
Oh,
is.
Jesus.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
Because then Breath of the Wild would have won.
I think that makes sense. Though. That's
Yeah,
what I
Breath of the
expected.
Wild would.
It would be Breath of the Wild. If we did it by point total of how much they got, it's Breath of the Wild, Horizon Zero Dawn, PUBG. I'm sorry, Breath of the Wild, Horizon Zero Dawn, PUBG, Mario, and then Overwatch.
I think
For
that
the
makes
top
sense.
5 games.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good order. I can't fucking believe you put Overwatch in there. I hate you so much for doing it. Having PUBG above Mario Odyssey is weird, but I think I kind of roughly agree with it. So
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense.
even though you love Horizon Zero Dawn so much,
Yeah,
you're
I'm
not
not
going to
gonna-
fight anyone for it?
No,
No, not going to fight?
I mean the majority ruled.
CJ, what do you think, bro?
Of that list?
Yeah. Do you think anything's out of place? Aside from Overwatch being at number 5.
So went Breath of the Wild, Horizon Zero Dawn, PUBG, Odyssey,
Overwatch.
Overwatch.
Correct.
Overwatch Game of the Year.
Yeah. Not the OG, like the Game of the
Not-
Year
yeah,
edition that
Game
came
of
out
the Year.
this year.
Can't forget
I
about
mean,
that.
You could make an argument for new characters and shit, but I'm
Right.
not gonna do it.
I fucking love the new characters.
I know you do.
I don't know, just because I'm a multiplayer guy, I don't think anything beats Breath of the Wild just because of what it did hand in hand with the Switch. But I think you could make a case for PUBG just with how many concurrent players it has and how many
Right.
copies it sold being ahead of Horizon Zero Dawn,
You can make
in
that
my
case.
opinion.
You definitely could make that case. I probably wouldn't go with it, even though I'm more of a multiplayer guy, but you can definitely make that case. What, Robin, you have this word on the tip
But
of your
we're
lips.
choosing like the number, just the one our Game of the Year, right?
What?
We're putting them
I
in
mean-
order.
Oh, we're putting it in order.
Yes.
Yeah. Like the
Oh.
order that it came out as far as the voting went. Do you
Oh,
agree
I
with
see.
it
I
is the
see.
question.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You agree with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
I could see PUBG coming in too. I could see a lot of places that are like PC gaming centric voting for PUBG as number one.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't think they're crazy. I would not agree, but I wouldn't think they're crazy.
That's the only thing I have wrong with the list. I think everything else is pretty solid. So I think we killed it.
I agree. Good job, team. Yay.
Yay.
I'm going to retally these because I think Horizon Zero Dawn might actually be in front of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Really?
So, yeah, because once we got above 6, I just left it.
Oh,
I was like,
okay.
It crossed the threshold to get in. So...
I think that I might have ruined that because I didn't put Breath of the Wild on my list at all.
But you don't have to. That's the thing.
But you guys all had did CJ have Horizon? I don't think so.
I didn't know.
Okay, so I guess that's fair. It's probably like a dead heat.
Yeah, I bet you they were right around the same time. Actually, really fast, we'll tally this really fast. Check this out. We're going to do this. No, not that page. Next page in the notebook. Okay, where did everyone have Horizon Zero Dawn?
Number 5.
0.
1.
So Horizon Zero Dawn had 11 because Robin gave it 5th, which is 1 point. Charlie gave it 1st, which is 6 points. That's 7. And then I gave it 2nd place, which is 4. Because you had to get 6 points to get to Game of the Year, so that's why number 1 was an automatic.
Wait, second place isn't 5 points, it's 4?
Correct.
Okay.
I've explained this.
Sorry.
It's in the thing that you're supposed to read.
Oh, sorry.
You're not coming prepared, Robin.
Sorry.
All right, now as far as Breath of the Wild goes, Robin, where did you have Breath of the Wild?
3.
3? 3 points. 1, 2, 3. CJ, where did you have Breath of the Wild?
3.
1, 2, 3. Adam, where did you have Breath of the Wild? 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, Breath of the Wild got 12. Horizon Zero Dawn got 11.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
that's close.
it was super close, actually. So that feels right to me.
Yeah.
Just by an eyelash that it got it. But yeah.
I mean, I don't care whatever you guys want to do with PUBG. Like, I haven't played that game. I don't like multiplayer games, so
And
I'm like
PUBG
completely skewed.
Screwed.
I don't play
Skewed.
PUBG either. I don't understand it.
I've played Fortnite. I would vote for Fortnite over PUBG because I can build stuff, but I left them both off.
Wait, you don't
So,
build in PUBG?
No.
What?
You get cars in PUBG.
Oh
you don't
shit!
get those
I told
in Fortnite.
someone you build in PUBG because I thought it was the same thing as Fortnite.
No, you
Oh,
don't
I'm
build
a
ramps or forts or
retard.
anything like that.
I'm stupid. Sorry, my friend.
Well, a top 5 for stupidest people on the podcast.
Me,
Go.
number 1.
But yeah, I like that. 12, 11, 10 was Zelda, Horizon Zero Dawn, and PUBG. And then Super Mario and Overwatch. I fucking hate you.
Overwatch Game of the Year.
No one voted for Mario, I think, higher than 3rd place. So,
Didn't
Crazy.
grab any of us.
yeah. Which is weird. We play a lot of fucking games.
I haven't touched the Switch, so
You've touched the Switch.
yeah, I've touched the Switch to
Yeah,
play
you
like
have.
Snipper clips. I hate
snipper
you guys
clips
so
and
much.
stuff, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Like I haven't played as many games. Like we played Bomberman, but that was it.
Well, there you go, guys.
I don't know.
Nerd Chill's 2017 Game of the Year was Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I will contact Reggie and send him his pin letting him know he won the prestigious award.
Oh, you should.
I'm sure they're going to put it in the trophy case right above the Game Awards trophy that they got because it's just that
You should
prestigious.
just wear it all the time.
I know. That'd be awesome. We should get him a medal that he could wear around his neck. So, Robin, get on that. You're
I
in
like
charge
the
of
idea
merch.
of sending him a pin, even though he probably wouldn't.
That would be.
There's got to
so-
be a place you could send it to.
I think it'd be damn adorable.
I would send it to just Nintendo of America headquarters, like, attention, Reggie Fils-Aimé. And it would be awesome.
It would be super cool.
He'd probably throw it in the trash.
right,
But that's okay.
But that'd be really cool.
There you go, guys. Episode 50 of Nerd Chills. We picked our Game of the Year for 2017. And you know what? We're going on a little bit of a holiday break. We're going to leave you guys with some content. We hope you enjoy. Let us know how you feel about it. And we'll talk to you guys in the new year, I think.
Yep.
So,
See you next year.
See you next year.
oh my God. Yeah, that's everything.
Smell you later.
We got to do the sign out stuff. If you want to email the show, email at nerdchills@nerdchills.net. You can look at the website nerdchills.net. You can also tweet at us at nerd_chills on the Twitter. We have a Facebook page, not a group, called facebook.com/nerdchillspodcast. Robin said she's going to make a group for that very soon. We're really excited to see what that is because I have no idea what the fucking
And
difference
you'll
is.
keep saying page.
Oh,
Right now.
it's just the group is just people. You add people to the group, and those people literally just run the page. So
Cool.
you're talking to each other and doing all that stuff, and it's not like us posting stuff.
So we're gonna
So-
have one soon.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Cool, awesome. If you want to reach out to me, you can tweet at me at the Adam Diaz, exactly how it sounds. If I'm streaming, it'll be twitch.tv/Malem, which I might do over the holiday season, especially with Assassin's Creed Origins, because it's got me good. And I think that's it. You can email me, Malem, MAYLUM, at nerdchills.net. So, CJ, where can the fine folks find you?
For everything for me is pretty much like Twitter's at Sacred Infinity. You can catch me streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/Sacred Infinity. And if you want to email me anything, get in contact with me and tell me how I'm right for my Game of the Year picks this year. I couldn't think of the word. I was going to mess it up. I'm really just out of it. It's sacredinfinity@nerdchills.net.
Cool. Charlie, where can the fine folks find you?
You can find me right here. Otherwise, I'll be on Twitter. It's Charlie with an EY_NC as in Nerd Chills. For a second, I really wanted to be like, you can find me in Animal Crossing. My number is 5572461.
You should fucking do that. You should get out your friend code and let everyone know exactly what it is.
Oh my God. That would be interesting.
You're already at max level friends, though, aren't you?
No, because I had to delete some requests because some people weren't getting back to me.
Right on.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, actually, I will do that. And then when I get no friend requests, I'll be like,
then we'll know
that's
who actually
about
listens. Right. We'll move on to Robin while you look up your friend code.
I'm on all social medias platforms pretty much at the Robin Grace.
Cool.
That's it. Yeah.
And your Etsy shop?
Robin's Quiet Corner.
Cool. And I hear you're on a new podcast.
Yeah, it's called Scary-ish. It's
Cool.
scary-ish.
So it's like a ghost story podcast?
Yeah.
I heard your co-host is a sexy beast. Is that true?
He's aight.
He's aight. It's
Wow.
me. That hurts. Charlie, what's your friend code?
It is 1615186852.
522.
It's just that simple.
All right. Thanks, Nintendo, for making that easy.
It's 11 digits. Good
No big
even
deal.
number.
That's longer than my full name.
That's longer than a social security number.
That's
Oh
fucking
my
Better than a
ridiculous.
phone number.
Oh my god.
Depending on what country. I don't know if that's true.
So I think that's everything we have for you for the year of 2017, except for those 2 fun episodes to come, which we've already recorded. So this is the end for us. You guys have a wonderful Christmas, and you have a wonderful New Year's and any holidays in between. We love all of you guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you for our Patreon, all the stuff you guys have done. It really has been a great
It's been
year.
an awesome year.
By the time this year ends, we'll be at 52 episodes.
Yep, it'll be perfect.
We'll be at the what?
52 episodes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Wow.
We killed it.
So,
Nuts.
cool. I think
That's
that's all we got for you for episode 50. So, you folks take a chill pill, and we'll see you next year.
Wow. Bye.
Bye. I totally knew he was going to do it.